JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 21st of April 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the charts very quickly here. So yep, we can see the German index DAX is drifting lower. Initially it did reverse a little bit to the upside, however found good resistance near the 15,210 territory, and then yep, drifted back south, and now it's currently approaching this upside support line taken from the low of the 26th of February, the one that I mentioned this morning. And now the big question is, can we break this upside line? Well, if we break the upside line and we drop below the 21-day EMA and then we violate the 15,030 territory somewhere around here, that's when we'll get a little bit more comfortable with the downside, especially if the daily candle stays below all that. If it doesn't, if it just gives us a false breakout, then we're not really getting excited with lower levels. But for now, basically, we cannot even let's say right now, exclude the upside scenario yet, because again we could see a drop lower, a test of this whole area, and if it holds, yep, another rebound here and a push higher could be possible. So keep that in mind. But for now, guys, it's a very interesting spot, at the same time very tricky. If you have missed some of these moves here, well, probably the best option right now is maybe to wait and just to see what's going to happen here with this whole area. I do understand we could be maybe missing out on a bit of maybe a few opportunities here. However, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, as I would prefer to, like I said, be patient for right at the moment, and yep, wait for a clear breakthrough one of the levels. Now, for the downside that I just mentioned, I need to see that daily candle staying below the 15,030 territory. For the upside, I would like to see the daily candle jumping back and staying above the 15,210 territory right here, and then yes, we could maybe consider a bit of a move higher. However, for now it's a bit of an interesting situation here. Nasdaq 100. So looking at this picture, yesterday I've mentioned this, and yep, what I said, that if we get a drop below this 13,880 territory, then yes, this could open the door towards further declines, where the next target could be potentially this 13,700 level, and we fell shy just by a few points from hitting that area and drifted back up. Now, if we take a look at the cash index right now and where the index is currently sitting at, we can see that the price is sitting at around 13,740 mark. So yep, it's below yesterday's close, but still above this hurdle right here. So this is what I'm going to be aiming for initially, this one, the 13,700 zone, and then if that gets cleared, then of course my next target is the 21-day EMA right here, shown as the yellow line. And then I'll take it from there, guys. I rather go step by step on this one, just because, again, if this 21-day EMA somehow does provide good support, yep, we could see a nice reversal here and a move back to the upside. So keep that in mind. Dow Jones Industrial Average. So here the index also drifted lower. And this morning I talked about this one, and I said that I will pick up on this index later on today before the market opens. So we have around 54, 53 minutes left until the US opening bell. And yeah, for now, I mean, what we can do here is basically just continue observing this this upside line here, because basically looking at the cash index right now, we'll see that the price is currently trading at around 33,767 mark. So basically below this hurdle here, the 33,811. But above this other hurdle that I've got here on the chart, the 33,612, so 18, sorry. So basically we're stuck in this little area here where the way this is going to shape up today is probably that, well, not probably, but we will have an opening here outside of, or should I say below this upside line. And of course this creates this slightly more of a bearish atmosphere, of course, and yep, in a way further declines could be possible, but we'll remain careful. And what I will say is that if the index continues to trade below the 33,811 territory here, yes, we will continue maybe targeting the downside, but carefully, very, very carefully, just so that not to kind of, let's say, to become too over bearish. For now, yes, we could see this one moving lower, but if by any chance the 21-day EMA does its trick again, like for example it did here back at the end of March, and it provides good support, then yes, a nice rebound here again could be possible. DXY, the dollar index, so drifting a little bit higher, and of course understandable in a way that the US dollar is seen as a bit of a safe haven here. So yep, the weaker indices are kind of helping here traders to jump into the US dollar. However, probably the bulls here should not get too comfortable, because we are still trading below the downside line here. As you can see, this one's taken from the high of the 31st of March, and for now, I mean, if this downside line stays intact, then yes, I mean, further declines could be possible. But if it gets broken and we see the price rising above the 91.81 territory right here, now that's where we could get a little bit more interested with higher levels. Silver is of course also enjoying the fact that the dollar index is drifting lower. As you can see here, we are pushing nicely to the upside. We continue to trade above this upside line taken from the low of the 31st of March. So in a way, everything's kind of pointing a little bit more towards the upside. Now, in terms of the upside, if you want to be a little bit more on the careful side, probably wait for this push above the 26.30 territory, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. That's the current highest point of April, and if that gets cleared, first of all, we will create a new higher high, a new high for April, and well, then we could start aiming for the 26.63 level or the 27.07 area right here, and then we'll take it from there. For the downside, now previously I talked about this 200-day EMA, but now given that we've shifted a little bit more to the right, I will say that in order to consider maybe a bit of a decline here, a break of this upside line would be needed. Also a drop below this 25.46 territory right here, which coincides with the 21-day and the 100-day EMAs. Yep, could all that could kind of play out nicely here for the for this commodity. But for now, we're leaning a little bit more towards the upside. Brent Oil, so drifting to the downside here, and yep, we fell below this 65.45 territory right here, roughly around here, marked near the high of the 29th of March. So we're now testing this 21-day EMA, and the big question here is, can we see a further move lower here? Now, after we broke this downside line here taken from the high of the 8th of March, yes, we've pushed a little bit further north. However, currently we are seeing a bit of a corrective move lower. Now, the reason also why I'm saying corrective is because we are still trading above this upside support line. Now, it's a little bit tentative, but nevertheless an upside support line. So, well, I'm going to keep that on the chart for now. That's the reason I have my downside scenario only from around the 61.28 zone right here. And yeah, that's why we need to see a break of this upside line first, and then, yep, a violation of the 61.28 zone in order to get a little bit more excited with the downside. For now, let's be very careful here, guys. We do have the U.S. crude oils coming out, crude oil inventories coming out today. So, so yeah, keep your eyes on those. And well, I mean, this will have more of an effect on WTI oil, but Brent oil could follow suit as well. Jumping into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is drifting lower, so this idea kind of continues to work out. This is what I've mentioned in the beginning of this week on Monday, that if we get a push higher, a little small retracement here, back up, but if it, let's say, struggles to get back above, somewhere above this 57,212 territory, then yes, another slide could be possible. And so far we're getting that exactly, well, exactly that, I would say. And we're seeing this drift south, but can it stay below this 55,555 level? So this 55555 level, can it stay below it? Well, let's wait and see, because as you can see so far, although we keep getting breakouts here, we're not really getting that daily candle to stay below that hurdle. So we need that daily candle to remain below this 555, there we go, level before, yes, getting a little bit more excited with further declines, guys. So keep that in mind. And by further declines, I mean a bit of a larger correction here towards the downside, towards this upside support line taken from the low, the 11th of December. NZDCHF. So I've mentioned this one this morning, just a quick update. So basically, yep, we are pushing higher. This morning I said that in order to go for the downside, we need to see a drop below that 0.6552 territory. And we didn't really get that yet. Instead, we had a push away from it towards this, back towards this downside line, which we are now monitoring carefully, because if that gets broken and we see the rate climbing above the 0.6626 territory, then yes, higher levels could be met. NZDJPY, slightly different story here. The Japanese yen is slightly on the stronger side, I would say, and still we're keeping close eye on some of the levels here. Now this level has to be adjusted. Let me just very quickly do that. I think it's gonna be somewhere around here. So this 77.95 zone, or in a way we could even round it up towards that 78 territory. So what I would need here to see is the daily candle pushing above the 78 territory and staying above it in order to go for the upside. For now, we're being very careful here. Yes, we do have this this upside support line taken from the low of the 19th of November, which is kind of also seen as maybe a bit of a tentative one, but nevertheless an upside support line that the pair seems to be following so far. So in order to consider the downside, well, a break of this upside line is needed, and also a drop below the 76.66 territory right here could do the trick for more sellers. Now, USDCAD. So talking about economic data, we did get right now the Canadian inflation figures, which didn't really perform well, I would say. So the core numbers, well, actually the core numbers, yes, the core numbers, the year-on-year core CPI figure came out better than the previous. The month-on-month figure, the core month-on-month CPI figure came out the same as previous. However, but there were no expectations, no initial forecasts for those numbers. But the headline figures did disappoint. All of them managed to, let's say, they didn't meet the forecast. So the month-on-month CPI headline figure came out below the forecast, but it's actually the same as the previous one. So So that's still kind of okay, I would say. So, and even the year-on-year number, although it didn't meet the forecast of 2.3, it came out at 2.2. Still, it was better than the previous 1.1. So that means that still that's kind of okay for the Canadian dollar, for the market, for the BOC. However, we do have the Bank of Canada coming out later on, so that's probably when traders are kind of saving up any kind of big movements here on USDCAD. So keep your eyes on that later on today. We do have the BOC interest rate decision. However, of course, no expectation for a change there. I mean, 0.25. That's what's expected to come out. But the tone, that's where we're going to be looking at, and of course, we'll see how it's going to play out here with USDCAD here. And you can see that currently the pair is close to this upper bound of the range. Let's see if we can break that. If we can, then yes, higher levels could be met. But with the upside here, of course, let's kind of keep an eye on it, because in a way, even if, let's say, the BOC is not going to move this pair, what could move here is a stronger dollar, if the dollar starts pushing higher, breaking this downside line, and of course oil. If currently oil is declining, and yep, that's what we're seeing here. That's the little weakness here in the Canadian dollar we're seeing against the US dollar. So yep, I mean, if the BOC is not going to do it, then DXY together with oil could do the trick and help and maybe this pair drive higher. But again, let's not overcomplicate our heads. Just this is just information for you, for some food for thought. Let's put it this way, and let's see how this is going to play out, guys. Now, jumping into GBP USD very quickly. So the pair did drift, or should I say, is still correcting lower. This is what I mentioned yesterday, that maybe, just maybe, we could see here a potential maybe bullish flag forming. So yep, we're seeing a bit of a decline here right now. Even if it drops below this 1.3919 territory, the one that I marked here yesterday, still, to be honest, there could be a chance for the bulls to step in if the rate continues to balance above the 21-day EMA. So then yes, if let's say today there's not going to be much activity here in GBP/USD, and tomorrow as well, then maybe on Friday we could shoot up here into the upside, and we could travel maybe higher. But again, still, to be on the safe side, if you want to go for some higher levels, wait for that pop above the 1.40 territory here, and then go for the upside. EURUSD. So we're seeing that little nice decline, so everything's kind of in line still. Yeah, we are trading above this upside support line taken from the low, the 5th of April. So if you want to go for the downside for let's say lower levels, a break of this upside line would be needed. However, at the moment, that's not really seems to be the case. We're still hanging above this upside line, above this highlighted territory, this 1.1990. So there is a lot that could still support the upside in the near term only, of course, because what I'm targeting here is only this downside line taken from the high of the 6th of January, and then we'll take it from there, of course. But for now, guys, long story short, we could still be aiming higher if this whole area here, the upside support line, continues to provide a good hold up. So guys, that's it for this session. I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys. I really do. So thank you very much for joining in. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso, that's 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful evening, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.